Hey guys, this is How to Coding. Welcome to my first video on my channel. The idea behind the channel is that I want to teach you how to write like whatever code you need for whatever purpose. If you like, my initial thought was that I would start off with just troll through Stack Overflow and see if there's anything in there that people are struggling with for whatever languages I know, and then just do like a quick touch on it. Since I haven't actually started doing anything like that, I haven't touched Stack Overflow's IP, I haven't been on their channel, I haven't been anywhere with it. I thought, video one, let's hit record and then figure out what the heck we're gonna make. So step one is I need a folder to like keep my stuff. As you can see, there's a bunch of garbage going on here. How to coding? Yes, I've already set up a tat folder. The tat folder is empty. So what are we gonna do? I don't want to make a long video. I don't want to do anything like crazy. Let's make some piece. Oh, check my stars out in the background. Oh, I made these stars. I made it in C++. I'm so happy. I was just fiddling around with like some perspective on some kind of camera thing I was working on. Just a camera system for like a little space game piece of garbage thing, whatever. Let's make a tutorial. Let's do text document, garbage .html, and the reason I'm doing HTML is because I'm lazy and it's like the quickest language to get something up and running. I know, I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. What are you gonna do, right? So, step one, I need to get a piece of garbage HTML. So let's type HTML id slash id body slash body slash HTML. There, done. Web page, save, sorted. Let's open that up. Oh, no, you need content. So let's do head. First, I want to indent this properly because I'm pedantic like that. So you got head. Let's give it a title, some random piece of code thing, blah. Right, so title. Then we wanna import the script. So we're gonna say script. Is it source equals something.js? Let's start at the type equal. You don't need to do this on new browsers, but I like doing it because it's like one of the first things I learned is like you say the type of the media you're importing is text/JavaScript, and I mean it looks super technical if you do it like that. So you know. It's like you get all that lead hacker points. So great. So now we got a script. I don't need to style this thing, but I might as well style it to you. I'm just gonna inline style this thing, right? So style type equals text CSS. Yes, you don't need it. You just need to say like style, and then it just does the thing for you. But I want to tell the browser that I want a. Okay, so if you don't know HTML, you don't know CSS, you don't know JavaScript, you don't really need to care what's going on, but what I'll tell you is that inside the body, I want to put a thing called a canvas, right? And its ID is going to equal how to canvas. Yeah. Keeping with the theme of the channel, right? So you just do /canvas. And there you go. Now you got like a nice canvas. So in the style, you'll say my HTML and my body and my canvas are all gonna have 100 view width units. Yes, this is an actual unit, and 100 view height units. Obviously, that means nothing on its own. So you have to actually go and flip and type width is. Oh my god! Like I hate these verbose languages, but funny enough, my favorite language is C++. So, so for if you really want verbose, you can go to C++. You can do terse or you can do verbose, but my word, you should see some of the garbage I write. So, great. Let's just fix that spelling error. So great. So now I got an HTML body, a canvas. So I got a width 100, view width, and a height 100 view width. I want no padding. Just a reset, no padding and no margin, right? Because we have no margin for error. Alright, cool. So now we've got a HTML is this thing. It says take up the width, the whole browser page, and you got a Body is just the writable area inside of it where all this garbage appears, and then the canvas itself is just the thing I'm going to draw into. So the canvas, making it 100 width and 100 height. Let's just do something interesting. Let's make the background color just black, just to satisfy myself. I'm gonna go ahead and open up 50,000 Chrome tabs on my other window. Just gonna grab one of them over here, and then let's be crazy. Let's use the file browse dialog. As you can see, I've downloaded something to watch. Naughty, naughty! Don't tell anyone. It's just OBS Studio. No, that's not where I've put it. I've put my stuff in repos. How to coding that one garbage HTML. This piece of garbage. It should give me a black window. There we go. There. See, step one, like 20 freaking minutes of typing there. You got a black screen that does nothing. So now, obviously, oh my word, let's just do that. I need to go and put the source in here, so something.js. So let's just make a new file, something.js. So a JS file gets loaded in a context, and that context is, and I'm talking, just garbage. I don't know how do you do JavaScript when the document is ready. How do you know? The ready method, I don't want jQuery. I despise having to do jQuery call because everyone just says, oh, just use jQuery. I don't want to use jQuery. I want to use vanilla JavaScript. I'm teaching people how to learn to do things too. There we go. Piece of code. Guys, don't tell anyone, right? But this is like the best thing ever. So all you do is you go find a thing that does what you want, and then boom, sorted. So now this document fully works. You can actually say we've written some JavaScript and we are sorted. So just name it something.js so it matches up with that thing. Let's make it all files. Don't think you need to, but whatever. So now boom, something.js, document add event listener, DOM content loaded with an event, console.log DOM fully loaded and paused. So inside here we're loading script source something.js, and when all of this is loaded and parsed, this thing should be available. So let's go and see the fruit of our labor. Right? F5 and boom. You can't actually see it. You need to get one of these things open. Let's just switch over that mobile view thing nonsense. So you just right click, you say inspect, Control Shift L or I or whatever the heck that is. They should have made it lowercase, they should have made it uppercase, which is easier to read. But that's just my thought. So there, DOM fully loaded and parsed. Boom, done. No, I'm kidding. I want to draw something on the screen. Like it's all good and well, but I actually want to draw something on the screen. Close tabs to the right. Let's just close this thing. So now we know that we've drawn something. I want to have, when this thing is ready, I want to have something happen, right? What would happen? I want to be able to draw something whenever I need to draw something. Guys, you're gonna learn so much googling skills. So JavaScript, draw something on canvas, right? And this is gonna teach you something very, very, very important, right? It's going to teach you no, I didn't pause the video. I was looking for something that actually teaches you something called request animation frame. I already know it. I was just hoping that it would be easy to find, but unfortunately no, it doesn't look like it's easy to find. It looks like you have to actually go digging, or you have to have some prior knowledge, or you have to read one of those learn some garbage in some random amount of day tutorials. I don't like those. I like to be able to just find things, and I mean the MDN, Mozilla Developer Network, is one of the best ever things. So MDN, Mozilla Developer Network, it's one of the best ever things in the world. So clear the canvas, do some things, control an animation. There, boom, done. So all you do is you just drag. No, I'm kidding. You don't drag that on. First you look and you try and figure out what the heck is going on here. So here you got a function called init. It does request animation frame, and then it tries to draw, and then in the draw it does ctx get document. Oh my word! Why would it do that each time? And then it does request animation frame draw, and then it calls init. So we have something that says, okay, we are going to be smart. We are going to wait for something to happen, right? So here you got function init. This is how I declare functions in this language, JavaScript. We want to have some global thing, and I'll tell you why we want some global thing. I don't want to go look this up each and every time. So I want document.get element by ID, and that ID is whatever I put in this garbage HTML how to canvas. Get element by this ID. Dot get context. What context did we want? What did MDN say? What is the context we need? 2D. There. Get context 2D. So let's just pull the 2D context out. I know that they said they're going to support multiple dimensions at some point, but for now we'll just do get the 2D context. So now I got a context. And the context is basically anyone who's ever learned Win32 or heck, any kind of drawing system, GTK or whatever, there's a thing called a drawing context. On Windows that you have a handle to a drawing context because you're not allowed to actually touch the internal structures directly. You can call a function and pass the handle in. But that context basically says I represent a screen buffer. So not specifically a screen, but a screen buffer, something that can be put onto a screen. You may draw onto this buffer and then pass that data along to wherever. So we have now got a context, and that context we can do stuff with that context. So first, obviously, this is absolute trash. We're not storing this in anything. So first thing we do is we say context equals something. So I want this global thing var ctx equals null. I don't know if JavaScript specifically has null. I think it does. Whatever. We'll know soon enough. The browser will spit out an error. So now we have a context, and we can now say window.request animation frame do you do a request animation frame and then pass in a draw function. We'll know soon enough. Let's just go see what MDN says. MDN says you say request animation frame from the window, and then you pass in a function, and the function uses a context and does a bunch of things, and at the end you say request animation frame again, you pass the function in. So what that means is there's this like weird loop thing going on. It's crazy. So you got this function draw, right? And draw checks. If I have my ctx, so if ctx equals null, then just return, just do nothing, right? But you can't do anything without the context. That's just a safety check for people like me who try to call draw before calling init. So if you do something weird like this, it won't just bomb out your program. It'll just do something safe until you eventually call init and things happen, right? So it's defensive coding, just the same as defensive driving, where you swing a mini into a wherever parking space. You can do defensive coding. So you could also just be sane because you're writing the code yourself and no one's going to touch it besides you, and just dump that and just start doing like ctx.do something, right? But since when do we do these things? Yeah, no, wait, I wanted to undo what I was doing there. So you say if the context is not valid or something for some reason, you request animation frame draw. So okay, now I want to say ctx dot, oh shoot, ctx dot what? There's so many options. Let's see what do they do. Oh my word, they're rotating the context and filling a rectangle, doing all this kinds of things. So all I want is I want to clear the rect, right? But how do I get this width and this height? How do I know what these things are? Let's go see. How do they know what the width and the height is? JavaScript context get width and height, set width and height. We're gonna write this code off of Google now. Set canvas size, canvas width and height. Yeah, I just want to understand what this width and height is. So you tell it your internal width is okay. So what the way this seems like it works, just 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 bear with me. Um, I'm just looking at that and just making a guess. But the way it seems like it works is that if we say here is this orange border, that is your actual canvas. That is the physical thing you look at. So if you say full rect black, and you'll end up with like a this, right? That's canvas. But that doesn't help you. The canvas is represented by two things. The canvas is represented by the outer width as it appears on the page, and internal to this canvas, it's got a like a why is this doing this? There we go. Internal to this canvas, it's got a buffer inside that usually matches the width, right? That you can draw into. So when you draw on the canvas, you are actually drawing onto this red buffer thing. You're saying, oh, I want this. Oh, that's such a cool shape. I want this cool shape. And then what happens is that internally the canvas takes this red buffer and draws it onto this blue surface. So what this means is that you can control these things independently. You can have a massive blue surface as the view on the browser, which is kind of what we got here. You got this massive surface, but then internally, this red thing could be tiny. You could literally just go through and say, I just want to select this area. You could go through and say, well, actually, I want this internal area to be this tiny thing, and draw all your operations in there, and then this would be stretched to cover the canvas. I like this. I like this. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna say, okay, well, my var inner width equals 320, and var inner height equals 240 because I'm old school like that. So you could then say, once I've got my context and I've got this thing, so I can say that ctx.width equals inner width, and ctx.height equals inner height. And this I do before I request the first draw, right? So now my internal buffer inside this canvas should be 320 by 240, and the way we're going to do this is we'll say clear this rect inner width, and then we'll clear this rect inner height, and we should be able to draw something on here, and it should look massive. If we say fill a rectangle that is half of 320 and half of 240, it should take up 1/4 of the screen. So let's see how to do that. So now that I've got my clear color and my rectangle set up, and I know what the size of the thing is internally, I don't have to care about the external size of this thing. I don't have to care if I do this, what happens. I know there's a fixed width inside of it. So I know that when I draw things, I can draw with a specific size, and I don't have to care about these measurements and doing any calculations, because calculations suck. Who even cares about calculations? So let's just copy some piece of garbage of here. I want to initialize this canvas in the init function, because that's what init means. It means initialize. It's shorthand for people who are kind of lazy. What is RGBA? Red, green, and blue, and then alpha is 0.4. I don't want 0.4 alpha. I want full alpha for stroking, because only alpha is stroke. I want the full style. I'll just make it red. So 255. Whatever. There's my clear rect. What does clear rect do? What does clear rect use? Does it just fill the canvas with black, or does it fill it with transparency? See, we're learning things. Clear rect method there. Just W3 schools, just WC3 schools are the best. So clear rectangle in the given blah blah blah. Full rect, clear rect. What is the clear color? What is the clear color? This is hilarious. So you got a full rect, you can fill it with whatever color you want. But then what is clear rect? The clear rect just fills it with white. Right? I think the canvas makers are messing with us. These guys are having a laugh. They're having a right laugh, right? So what they're saying is that it doesn't matter what you do. If you say clear rect clears it with white. Let's just see. Full style is red and stroke style is, I don't know, it looks like yellow or something. So now we do clear rect, and now we do ctx dot full rect. 0, you know what, 320 divided by 2 is 160, 240 divided by 2 is 120. Let's see, let's just take out these comments because that's a telltale sign that someone else wrote this code. As you can see, nobody gives a crap about comments. I didn't write any comments, I don't care about comments. It was like, if I didn't write the code clear enough for someone to read, and oh, clear rect doesn't do the thing I thought it was going to do. But now, here's something interesting. Why is this thing picking up such a massive amount of the screen? The width is correct, but the height isn't. 24, it's 12, it's 120. 320 divided by 2 is 160. So why? Let's try this. ctx.style.width equals 100 view width. Let's try ctx.style.height equals 100 view height. Let's maybe you need to specify that to get that weird effect going. Oh no, I've just written proper broken it. That's lovely. I am convinced I saw this happening here. ctx dot oh, because I'm just a weirdo, and weirdos do weird things. That's just totally a no op. I looked at it and I thought, oh, you can just know the context. No. Var can equals canvas, right? So you do document get over id blah blah blah. That is canvas. Now you can do canvas get context, and get context 2D is blah blah blah. But now you can say canvas width and canvas height and canvas dot style dot width and canvas dot style dot height. This ctx doesn't actually affect anything. You just draw onto ctx. It doesn't control the canvas. It controls the contents of the canvas. This thing is the buffer. This is the big meaty boy that we care about, that we want to say, you know, I've got this thing, I want to draw on it. So this is hopefully how we get that thing to be a quarter of the screen. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have one. Oh, what is that weird thing going on there? I'm going to assume it's just my browser doing something. I've got a piece of software running. So now we have a predictable width and a height, or predictable screen size that we can use. That'll allow us to understand exactly what's going on here with this canvas. So now, I think that's good for lesson 1. I'll catch you guys in lesson 2. Cheers. Okay, so I was just messing with you. I'm not just going to leave it with a red square on a canvas. I wanted to do think. If you have any ideas on what we're going to do with this thing, just put something down in the comments. My first thought is, what is a stupid game? Like something like simplest possible game, simplest. simplest possible game. Huh. It looks like they are the simplest games in every category. So the simplest, you can't actually make one of these. Those guys go after you hard. So the simplest game you can make would be, I don't know, like Snake or Pong or something. Let's make a bouncing paddle. Let's do that. Let's make a paddle on the screen and it bounces. So we know the width and the height of the screen, right? So we can have like a paddle thing. Let's make a paddle thing, right? A thing that's a paddle. Uh, Paddle equals functions. I think the only thing we need is the y of the paddle and the height of the paddle, right? How do you declare these things? You do var y, bar height. This dot width equals, I don't know, like it's 320 pixels wide, so I'd say 40 pixels should be good. This dot height equals, I don't know, like 10 pixels are it's 4 times as wide as its height. Is that a good ratio? This dot x equals inner width divided by 2, right? Right shift by 1 is actually division by 2, minus this dot width divided by 2. That should center it on the screen horizontally. And then oh, actually this dot height is just screw it, I'll just give it a y location on the screen and that's it. I'll just be happy with that. And then this dot y equals y there. Okay, so now we've got a paddle. I just want to declare this paddle thing up here in the middle of actually it's a good place to declare. Var player equals new paddle, and it's going to be inner height minus 20, right? And paddle dot prototype dot draw equals function. It will take a context. It doesn't actually take a, the context is, what have I done? I hit a button and I full screened my editor. I don't know if I like this. And do you guys full screen your editors? Just say something in the comments. Scream at me if you want. I don't care. I read it, but I don't get emotionally invested in the comments. So you got a paddle and you got a function. You prototype onto the paddle and you say as a function it equals draw. The name of the function is draw and it equals this function. So when you call draw and you put parentheses around it, it just executes whatever's in this block of code. I want this draw function to do stuff. I want this draw function to do. I've cleared the rectangle. I want this draw function to do paddle dot. No, I didn't call it paddle. It's called player dot draw. Right. I want the player to draw their own piece of garbage on the screen. And the player dot draw function is just ctx full rect this dot x, this dot y, this dot width, and this dot height. How's that? How is that? Declare an entire function in the prototype to draw a rectangle on the screen. How is that? Right? Okay. So now I got it's just a red paddle, and what I care about here is I want to put a ball thing on the screen, and the ball thing is actually also just a drawable object. So here you learn your first thing about coding, because my ball that I'm going to draw is going to basically look the same. So I want this to actually just be a drawable rectangle, right? So I'll just call it rect. This function returns a new rect. It goes to fetch it. It's like literally it's get rect. Get wrecked, yo. It's brilliant. So I got a player that is the new height, rect functions, x whatever and y whatever. So the rect is gonna be just to do this thing that like declares where this thing lives. So I can do var ball equals new rect. Uh, uh, Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Okay, I like the meme culture. Um, I'm a big fan of the meme culture. I'm an old person, but I'm a big fan of the meme culture. And this is minus like what 2030. For a rect, you actually want something like x, y, width, and height. So this is like you can't get around it now. So do var x, var y, var width, var height, right? And then this dot width is just actually let's just pull these out onto, so x is this funny calculation, x, so the play is going to be x, and the start width is actually just going to be 40, so this is just minus half that, which is 20. So we can use our brain, our BPU, our brain processing unit to do the math for us in this one. So this is x, and the y is just going to be what y I passed in, which is 9 minus 20. So there's y, width is going to be 40, and height is 10 pixels. Get wrecked, yo. So yeah, this is just a straightforward copy. So I want to reorder this. I want to order this logically, right? I want to make x equals x, y is y, width is width, and height is 10. Now I lie, height is height. Now you can get it x. So now the ball is in your rect. X is basically the same, but there's like a little bit of the thing. I want to say minus 10 because this thing is 20 pixel by 20 pixel. No, minus 5. I'm gonna make it 10 by 10. Inner height minus 30. Why is this got a minus sign on it? So is it minus 30? Yes, it's minus 30 because it's 10 by 10, and then it's 10 by 10. The actual zeros in there. So now we got a ball and we got a rect. So get wrecked. Yeah, I'll just scream it out there. So now you got a player, you can draw the play, and then you can say ball dot draw. Right? Great. Does any of this even make any sense? Does it have to? Flip, check this out. So this thing's if what did I do? I did the thing again. Excuse me while I try and figure out how this editor gets out to full screen. Can't I just do that? Nope, piece of garbage broken. That. My guys and my girls. F11. What? Look at this. It does not want to. Well, whatever. I'm just going to close this thing, close that window, done. Okay, great. So now, great. So, we have done the most amazing thing. We have made 2 errors. Cannot just property width of undefined. Where's width? What's a? Oh, there we go. Why is this funny about this? Oh yeah, you can't do var. Okay, fair enough. So I gotta go find my that one, the garbage dot something dot js. Let's open it with this piece. With this baby, hopefully this baby doesn't start up in full screen mode again because that is garbage. So apparently this is not JavaScript because I've been writing C++ for the better part of my life. This does not make any sense. So there we go. So now you got this thing that kind of does those things, and then it's just F5 that thing. Yes, you can F5 the dev tools. I don't see any new errors coming up. Unexpected token var. Wait, clear this out. Then do F5. Navigate to file, no errors. So I'm expecting to see. Yes, there we go. Whew. The most exciting paddle in the flippin' world. There we go. So what I want to do is, I was thinking I want to use the keyboard to move this paddle left and right, but I don't know. I think maybe just using the mouse to move this paddle left and right, just let it track the mouse, makes the most sense. Let's just go see how you do that. JavaScript, mouse movement, canvas capture, blah blah blah. Capturing mouse boards when it moves fast. Does it? Okay, so how do you actually do it? Oh, he just added an event list, for mouse move. Is that really how that works? Oh, there's a function on the canvas called onMouseMove, and that mouse move is just a function that does things. What is this BB offset thing? Wait, just hold on. I'm just stuffing my face quickly, because that's what we do. Because we fat lazy people, we stuff our faces. Shout out to all the coders who are fat and lazy like me. No, I'm kidding, guys. I haven't had lunch, I haven't had breakfast. I am having a snack right now. So, just from a cursory look at that document, it looks like we can actually pull up the we needed this can thing in any case, so that we can say can dot on mouse move equal handle mouse, right? And then very obviously we need to handle mouse, right? And this handle mouse function, I believe it takes an event, right? We'll just call it E for event. But I'm like fairly convinced it has this E thing, this event thing. So what I wasn't sure on is this handle mouse move thing. What is this, like? What is BB offset? Does it matter? I don't think it matters, because our canvas covers the screen and doesn't cause our let me just copy paste this garbage in there, because that I want in there. I want us to not do anything. So I don't think it really matters. So just stop the propagation, whatever, because our canvas covers the entire body area, the client area of the what's his face, and it doesn't cause the what's his face to scroll. So e.clientx should match up with e.canvas, like canvas.x, like exactly. So let's try this. So you do player dot set x e.client x. We don't care about the y doesn't matter, so don't ask me why. So actually let's just do it right here. Like, why have a set x function if you're not going to have a set y function? That doesn't make any sense. So let's just do set x right here. So if sorry, I'm trying to optimize and code and refactor and think at once, and then also speak. So what I want is, I want to say, I want this paddle thing, this player paddle thing, to move left and right, but not off the screen. It needs to hit the screen bound and stay there. So basically what I want is, I want this to say, I first want var x equals e dot client x, because I don't have to type e dot client x every time. So I want to say, like, if x is greater than I don't know, player dot width divided by 2, right? And x is less than inner width minus, let's just get var w equals this whole entire freaking malloc here. That's just, yeah, let's just make sure that I'm not overwriting a global var, shadowing it or anything. So if x is greater than the w I'm checking to, and if x is less than the inner width minus the w I'm checking against, then player dot x equals x. Should kind of just handle that. That should scroll my paddle around based on where the mouse is until it hits either the left or right edge. Let's see if my insanity is correct. So should I do the thing? Verify. I'm convinced I'm hitting this button. Yeah, I'm hitting the there. I did something. There we go. So something's off. Something's like severely off. Well, it does the thing, kind of, but it's very much off. So step 1 is try to understand what the heck is off here. So sources, let's just debug the heck out of this thing. So let's just grab that. So there we got an E and E. I can immediately tell you what's wrong. So I need to get canvas. CTX should have a how to with Okay, so what's wrong there is I don't like this. So basically what's happening is we're setting the width and height based on this external width and height, not the scale width and height. And it doesn't look like E actually has anything in it to get the scale width and height. So we need to current target dot width and height. No, yeah, we need to figure out how to translate this width and height to, like, I don't like this. Screen X and screen Y and X and Y. 38247. Oh, interesting. 382478 and 38247. That is interesting. So I'm going to assume that these values mean nothing to me and that the X and Y is actually what I need. So what I need to do is I need to figure out what is the difference between the screen width and height and then scale the X accordingly. So var can width equals I don't like this. I don't like it. I really don't like it. So, anyways, shoot, I did it again. I hate myself so bad. So you get a CTX from a canvas. So let's just put var can equals null. And then whenever we try and calculate what is this width, we can say can dot width. I think no. No. That's not how that's gonna work. So look at this. Yeah, I'm convinced this is just how this thing works. So let's just save this and then close it. There's a bug in this thing, that in this piece of software, that if you do this, it just never ever does the thing again. Canvas. Actually, isn't this the canvas? Can't I get the properties of here? I'm just stuck in my face again. I just want to know, how do I get the... How do I get the width and the height of the actual canvas, the outside of it? HTML get document width in pixels. I think this is going to be me. Document. Oh, there we go. Document output. That's pixels, right? Yep. Pixels equals. See, there's the answer. So now I know the width of body, width of HTML are the same. Inner width, windows width. I want this. It's the safest thing. Document.body.client width. It's the width of the body tag, and the canvas is the same size as the body tag, so that gives me a correct. Shoot! I gotta get notepad PP open again. I thought I stopped this. I'm convinced I stopped this. Yes. Okay, I'll edit that. I'm convinced I stopped it. I first stopped it and then started this. I'll speak to those guys. So what I need is, I need to be able to say, go to that one, open something there. Can't I open it with like a piece of garbage thing, like, I don't know, notepad? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. I'll use this thing, but then I want to remap the full screen button. It's edit, settings, shortcut mapper. Toggle full screen mode. Control F11. Okay. There we go. Done. Close. So now I think if I hit F11, there we go. It's now safe to hit that button I keep hitting by accident. Great. So canvas width is actually not canvas width. It's document body.client width for scale equals. I'll just call this doc width. Doc width equals doc width divided by inner width, which gives us a scale, and x equals e dot client x times scale. Boom. That should work. Let's go try this. And immediately there is a problem. Okay. So let's go see what this tells us. It tells us it's 333. Oh, yeah, because I typed it incorrectly because I am lazy. I'm just gonna go back to that like weird stereotype thing that I keep talking about, like programmers are fat and lazy. And like, if I wasn't lazy, I wouldn't be doing this kind of work. I'd be doing something that's like, yeah, you swing a hammer or something for a living, like, you do like the good work. This is still not working. So what is the error? There we go. So okay, F5. So now I've got a canvas and something works. It's as if it only works from a certain distance, right? So what's up with that calculation? What is up with this calculation? Let's just see the calculation in action sources. Mouse. What? Where's mouse? Oh, there's mouse. I'm just being weird. So there's mouse. So document 1920. Yes, this is a 1080p screen. 1920. So now I got drop width divided by inner width. That gives you a scale of 6. That's not right. You want the small one divided by the big one to go multiply by. Okay. So you do inner width divided by top width, and that should give you a proper scale to work on. And F5. Let's just take this. It's already looking slightly better. Here we go. Now the paddle follows your mouse around. Happy times. Let's see. Oh, I know what the error is. I don't want it to follow the right side of the mouse. I want it to follow the middle of the mouse. So x equals e client x times scale. Right? Check this out. If we flip these around, oops, Control Z, Control V, minus width, then we can make it follow that thing around. Right? So boom, same. Shoot, is it? Is it really that? F5? That stops on the left side. There's something funny there. So it stops on the left side and it doesn't stop on the right. Okay, so there's still something funny on the calculation. So if x is greater than width, okay, let's just do this. If x is greater than what? So x is this x position, and x is less than the inner width minus that, then player x equals x minus width. Right? Surely that is how that should work. So basically what I want is, I want this piece of garbage to do the piece of garbage thing that lets me move this flipping paddle like such. Here we go. There we go. See? Happy times. There's something funny going on. How do you... So what happens is, if you go off the side of the screen, right, with the cursor, it forgets, it doesn't get that last mouse event. So there should be an API to query the mouse position. So HTML canvas mouse capture, and of course, obviously the browser just decides that this is the time it does not want to respond to. Ooh, what there is a canvas capture API. Let's see. Ooh. The screen is stuck, my friend. All I want is, I want to know when the mouse is somewhere. Oh my word, why canvas pointer event? Why is it so hard? Using pointer events, WebMDN API, blah blah blah. Create a canvas, setting up a canvas, pointer down, pointer move. So this pointer, pointer events are pointer device agnostic, so the application accepts coordinate-based inputs from a mouse, pen, and fingertip with the same code. Okay, I am convinced. So instead of this, actually we'll just do both. So can dot and move false function and move console dot log shoot. And then obviously you want to do e dot prevent default, e dot stop propagation. Your better bet would be to query where the mouse is. I don't think there's a way to do that, but let's see if this thing does what I expect it to do. So this, what is this thing? Oh no, it's not the one. Because once I go off the left side of the window and once I go off the right side of the window, then I suddenly cannot see anything, any more events coming through. So the pointer event. But the pointer event does the same thing. Let's just see pointer event. Yeah, the pointer event does the same thing. So it doesn't actually solve my problem. So it seems like I'm going to have to use set pointer capture. JavaScript canvas mouse capture. I really want capture. I just really want set capture. Because all I want is to be able to understand, is the mouse moving? So this handle move thing just doesn't do what we expect it to do. So here you say on mouse move is handle mouse, but then can I say if canvas set capture, then canvas set capture the mouse? Wouldn't that work? And then just never add this weird eventlessness thing. So wouldn't that work? If there's anyone who knows this kind of garbage in the comments, let's just see. So this is an adventure in coding land. I didn't prepare anything. I didn't think of anything. I just say, hey, let's make a piece of code thing that does some garbage. Let's see. So doesn't look like set capture is supported. Let's just see. Let's close that thing. Wait, is it? No. Let's also be pedantic and actually prove mouse captured. Let's actually prove that it's happening. This also doesn't mean anything. What is the point if you do mouse capture, you can't actually prove you're getting mouse capture, right? So let's go, let's say 5. Let's do this, inspect it. Console. Nope, not supported. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, we'll be pedantic about it. We could make this thing a little bit wider, or we could add velocity to it, but for now, it's fine. It's totally fine. I want to start this ball thing in the dead center of the screen. So we are going to start. We've now successfully gotten our hands on top of a thing that moves. I think the very first thing I want to do right now is just add gravity. There will be no collision detection. I'm just going to make this ball bounce around the screen so that we have independent animation, independent movement, and then in video 2 we'll add collision detection, and then our piece of garbage game we'll make is like let's collide this ball with things. So excuse me while I just silently rage that this doesn't actually work. I'm kind of upset about this. Sincerely shook. So ball is inner width shifted 1, inner height again, inner height shifted 1 minus 5 pixel and 10 10, and there we go. Now we need to apply gravity. So gravity is a function of how many frames you expect to get. You could say, oh, I want something like 50 frames, I want 60 frames, I want 30 frames. Doesn't matter. It's just going to be like a silly little function of how many frames you're getting. So what we'd want to do in this instance is we want to say screw it, we'll move 1 pixel per draw call. I think that's it's going to be like the most reasonable thing. So we'll do I'm just going to do a free function called update ball. So just before the draw function, I'll do like function update ball. Ball is kind of global, so I could just have ball be referencing this function. I'll just do that. So yeah, you'll do ball.draw. We'll say update the ball, right? Then we do clear the rectangle and draw things. I think that's fair. So in update ball, we'd say we want to add features onto the ball. So we say ball equals new rect, but then we say ball.dx equals 1, ball.dy equals 1, right? This is how you just like randomly add properties onto this thing. It's the nice thing about JavaScript. It's like fudge, just pack the, just like what do we call, like mangle these properties into this object, because objects are stored as like a key value pair dictionary thing in JavaScript. It's incredibly weird. You can just do stuff like this. In other languages, this would immediately throw an error, but whatever. As long as you're calling it on the correct thing. So ball.x plus equals to ball.dx, y plus equals to ball.dy. There you go. If ball.x is greater than if ball.x plus ball.width is greater than width minus ball.width. Just bear with me. I'm whispering to myself just to kind of get the logic down. So if it's greater than these things, then ball.dx equals minus 1. And ball.x equals, minus ball.width. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, great. So if ball.x is less than 0, then ball.x equals 0 and that should be x, then ball.dx equals 1. We're just going to flip 1 forward and backwards, right? So then we want to do the same thing with y. So we just copy paste this, change all the things to y's and heights, and in golden. So if you do ball.y, no, I say y and I type x, greater than plus ball.height greater than inner height minus ball height ball.dy equals minus 1 ball.y equals inner height minus height, right? Inner height minus height, and then we'll do if ball.x less than 0, then just flip the sign but on the dx. So do the same thing with y. If ball y. Great. So there, we flip the sign bits around on ball y, we update the ball, we say ball plus equal to dx dy. Yeah, well, let's check it out. Hopefully this thing bounces. F5. There we go. So you got a bouncing ball, and the y calculation is totally mangled. Okay, well, let's see the y calculation. So if ball dot y plus ball dot height is greater than inner height minus ball height, then ball dot dy equals -1, and ball dot y equals inner height minus ball dot height. I don't see why that's broken. It should work. Let's go see what's mangling it. Let's inspect this. No errors, that's great. So let's just go to sources. Let's see what this update ball thing does. Boom, updating the ball. So what is dx? Dx should be -1, dy should be -1. Ball dot y is 230 plus equals -1, so 229. If ball dot x plus ball dot width greater than inner width ball width, it's not going to go in there. Oh, what? X plus width inner width 320 minus ball width 10. Dx equals -1. Okay, so it just goes in there. So if ball dot y 229 plus ball dot height 10, 239 is greater than inner height 240 minus 10 is 230. This equals inner height minus ball dot height. Oh. Oh, and it just gets stuck. Okay, I see what's going on. If we want to do this, right? Hold on, dy. What's happening is it's going there and it's setting it and it's saying, oh, it absolutely needs to be this thing. Just give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. So e ball dot x plus, so what's happening is we are saying it equals this thing. So the moment it hits the edge, it just stays there because it satisfies the condition and then it gets set. So what we should be doing is we should be moving it slightly back, right? So we should set this dx and then just say plus equal to dx. It moves it slightly back, and then the next time it comes in, it keeps going with the dx, and then it'll hit this condition, and it'll just do so set the dx and then add it, and then set the dy and then add the dy. So yeah, again we'll just follow that same pattern. Set the dx and then plus equal dx, right? So then the same thing here with the dy. Set the dy and then follow the dy. So ball dot y plus equal to ball dot dy, and that should give us a happy bouncing ball square thing on the page. Let's just do that. Look, F5, this, here we go. So now I got a ball thing, right? Boom, it bounces around. And now it satisfies a condition. It says the x is greater than these things, and the dx equals -1, and ball dot x plus equal to dx. Oh, no, that's undefined. Ball dot dx. See? It helps to read the code. So now, for like the third time, if we do this, it should bounce, right? Let's see. So it bounces off the edges of the screen, and say to the thing, great, it bounces off the top and the left perfectly. The bottom looks like it bounces correctly. Let's just see. Okay, so the top and the right, the bottom and the right do not look correct. That's fine. That's fine. It does a thing. So guys, just as a side note, this is how Pong is created. This is exactly how we do this thing. There's nothing special about it. This is how software devs do it. We like most of the time you come up with an idea and you do something and you start writing code, and then you end up researching, as you can see by my 50 browser tabs, researching the API just to make sure that I'm calling the right functions, just to make sure that Is there a better way to do this? Is there maybe a different way I can implement something? Is there a, I'm not happy with this ball that doesn't bounce. So let me just find this thing. If the ball dot x plus the ball dot, oh, is great. Oh yeah, there's the problem. We're adding the height already. There's no reason to subtract the height on the right. We're adding it here. So if the x plus the width, so you're checking the right edge against the right edge of the screen. So that makes more sense. You're checking the bottom edge against the bottom edge of the screen. There we go. Now everything's, no, this should work. This should work. It's just, see, I knew there's going to be something weird like that. So it just bothers me. I want it pristine. There you go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful bounce right against the edge. Ah, lovely. Okay, so we do the research, we sit there, we write the code, we make sure the APIs look correct, we do all the things, and I think next time we'll come back and we'll do one where we say here's like a bunch of stuff to bounce around on. As a side note, I think I've got maybe 2 or 3 minutes left on this video. I could show you actually, no, let me think about it. Now that we have an idea that we're going to work towards, let me think about it. But I could potentially show you like how we would handle the collision detection for the ball and the paddle. It would be almost exactly the same as the collision detection that we handle between the ball and the edges of the screen. But in this instance, as you can see, the paddle itself has this left and right edges that if you think about it, potentially you could knock this ball on the right side of this paddle, and I don't want that. I don't want you to be able to knock the ball to the right and to the left, because if you think about it, in tennis, does anyone ever use the side of the racket, the edge of the racket? No, you use the front of the racket, the neck, the I don't know what they call it, but the part that's got the grid on it, you'd use that part. So I don't want to use the edges of this paddle. So my initial thought would be to reduce the height of the paddle. So this big red rectangle, this is the paddle. I just want to reduce the height of that so that it's visible on the screen, but it's immediately obvious that you can't actually use the edges of it to hit this ball. Because I mean, yes, it's nice, but for our purposes, is it really useful? No, it's not useful to be able to hit it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to say the height of this thing is 4 pixels. That should give me a pretty enough rectangle that I can say, you know, I can, yeah, there we go, I can see it, but it doesn't look like I can hit the edge of it. So this feels good to me. This feels natural. This feels like something I could actually say, you know, this looks reasonable. I can go and use this for a game, as a game jam, or whatever purpose I have, I can use this. So I'm happy with this. So what we would do then is, and this is something interesting, if the ball is, you can make a lot of assumptions now that you know the fixed size of the screen and you know what the dx and the dy is. It's just delta x, delta y. You know that delta x must be positive if the ball is going to hit the paddle, right? So you could do something like, yeah, when you update the ball, you could say, for instance, actually you want to check it first. Right. So if the ball dot y plus the ball dot height, let me just put the correct parentheses in. If the ball dot y plus the ball dot height is greater than the player dot y, because that's all we care about, right? If the ball dot x is greater than or equal to the player dot x, right? I just want to put parentheses, and the ball, just put the parentheses preemptively, ball dot x plus ball dot width is less than or equal to the player dot x plus the player dot width. So if it's in that surface, right? If it's in that tiny area, then we could potentially say that the ball dot dy equals minus minus 1, right? And in the ball dot y plus equals to the ball dot dy. That should, it could potentially tell us, like, my thought is that if the ball y plus height is greater than the player dot y, and the ball dot y is less than the player dot y plus the player dot height. So if it's actually within the bounds of the paddle on the top side of it, right? So if you do something like, I just want all the parentheses in. I don't like coding without parentheses. I want everything to be explicit. Even though modern compilers allow, in fact, all compilers used to allow all this weird like little. So basically, what this check does is, I want this to say, don't let the player slide the paddle under the ball if the ball's already passed. It must be the momentary impact. That's why we're using 1 as our vectoring component for to calculate the thrust vector. We're using this as our vectoring component. So we're saying basically that this thing can move 1 pixel per frame, and I'm fine with that. It's not a high performance game. I've obviously gone and broken it now. Where did I break it? What? Oh, I closed my if statement up too soon. I believe this doesn't have a pay. There we go. So, there we go. Oh, no. And in this one, same thing. So, I've gone and done, open this if statement, and then open that if statement there, and then I don't have a closing component for that one. Okay, so as much as I hate the full screen feature button thing on this editor, it is great for hunting down bracketing errors. As much as I love the parentheses, they still kick my butt some, like, several years later. So if you do that, it should bounce, right? But then obviously, if it's already past you and you try and slide this thing in on top of the ball, it shouldn't let you bounce. If you do that, yep, you missed it. Okay, so that concludes my talk for today. Welcome. This has been my how-to coding talk for how to be random people who are writing into the code. I hope you join us next time. We'll start refactoring to do collision detections against actual blocks that need to break, and whatever and maybe tutorial 3 we'll look at sound, maybe we'll look at a game loop, maybe we'll look at something, I don't know, I don't care. Just, yeah, keep coding and stay safe. Cheers.